for this series of talks on how to build stuff using cheap or free tools. Doug's PCB talk is posted there now, his slides. These slides will be there. I'll put a link into the Subversion repository where the code and the circuit diagrams and all that for Tiny Wanderer are. And anything else?
Where would people like to see the Tiny Wanderer evolve to or go to function-wise? What would be? I mean, right now it's just going to drive around, not go off the edge of the table. Who wants to see it do more?
He's got a lot of ideas.
I think this particular board that's available gives you free access pretty much to the pins that are available with the ATtiny. So you're only limited by your imagination. You could make a line follower out of this. It would not be competitive. And the reason it wouldn't be competitive because the guy that comes down from Oklahoma can do it in 5.9 seconds, and you don't have enough speed in the servos.
Yeah.
All right, but you could make a line follower on this. You can easily make this do the tabletop, which is drive one end to the table and come back, no problem. Grab something and put it between the two hooks there and drive it off the table. That's a little bit bigger of a problem because it turns out I've done this with paper cups, and you'll leave the paper cup right on the edge of the table. But other than that, I got a feeling you could get around that problem. Putting something in a box, I'm not really sure how much different that task is. I haven't tried to do it. Four corners, this robot chassis and the board is good enough to run a dead reckoning without any problem. Since you're not using the three sensors, you have three pins that are available to you, which could be sonar, which could be it could be a whole bunch of things. I got one that I'm really seriously considering, and I'm going to give away a secret here. I'm going after a mouse camera. We'll use the 18-bit by 18-bit camera that's in a mouse and use it to see if I can drive in a straight line easier. So there's some other ideas that you can do. One thing that I'm working with on this, and this one's not obvious, let me take this. One of the things you find with this type of robot is that the servos drift. You can't keep zero. Well, you've used all your pins. But what you haven't used is your initiation state. So if I do this out here in a cliff, I'm testing zero right now. So I can tweak my zeros, okay? And then the other thing that's not quite so obvious, that when I put this on here, now I'm going to get that there is no cliff. So it's going to skip over the zero part, and it's going to do a surface analysis routine. Right now it's doing 128 ADCs on the surface to check out that, like this is a brown table, and if at home I have a brown table and I have a black marble, and the black marble was causing me horrendous, in fact that's where it kept going over the edge. But once I put that little routine in there, and it's only in the initial state, it goes out here, it checks out, calibrates itself, gets its own trigger, so the trigger measurement mechanisms have moved out of the H file into the program. So now, another giveaway. Okay, once you go there, where does that go? How about using a Sony IR remote, flashing out one of these things? Now I've got infinite commands that I can give in my initiation stand. Mm-hmm. So that's where I would like to try to take it. Give some ideas.
Question. How do you make the distinction between the initialization for off the cliff versus on?
Well, there's text.
You have a state machine. So the first state is state initiate.
Okay, so you're saying right after reset, you put it...
When you turn the power on,
right,
it goes into, the first state it goes into is initiation. And once it goes through it,
Yep.
Otherwise, the ending state
Yep.
is whatever the next state is. I think it's go forward. I think it's go forward.
Yeah.
And then when it loops around that, it never goes back to that initiation state unless you turn it off.
Interesting. So for those who, you triggered a thought, Doug, for those who aren't aware, the DPRG offers members use of a subversion repository. And so if you want to add your favorite hack on this and make it available to everyone, Steve can set you up with access to the subversion repository, and the only requirement for putting it there is that it must be open source.
Or you can email it to Paul. That works
Or you
too.
can email it to me and I'll put it up. Okay. Anything else?
No.
Thank you everyone for your attention. I hope this was interesting and I hope it'll be valuable. And thanks for your attention.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dale. Good job.
Very good. Thanks, Dale.